Ham Shigara Shiyata Parakamalam Shigurun Vaishnavam Sya Shirupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parajana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirara Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timaranda Shah Jnanajana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bistam Sapurkam Gurganara Sesha Samboshitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shirupa Patanagam Govinda Vidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandabaranam Balarka Chelan Shitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vanditam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Bradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Antya-lila, chapter 10. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts prashadam from his devotees. We'll start with verse number 1. Bande Shri Krishna Chaitanyam Bhaktanugraha Kataram Yena Kenapi Santushtam Bhakta Datena Shraddhaya. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is always pleased to accept anything given with faith and love by his devotees, and is always ready to bestow mercy upon them. Jaya Jaya Gora Chandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Brinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Varshantare Sabbhakta Prabhure Dekite Parama Anande Sabe Nilachala Jaite. The next year, all the devotees were very pleased to go to Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Charya Gosai Sarva Agra Ganya Acharya Ratna Charya Nidhi Shriva Sadidanya. Advaita Charya Gosai led the party from Bengal. He was followed by Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Srivas Thakur, and other glorious devotees. Jajshapi Prabhura Agya Gode Rohite Tatapi Nityananda Preme Chalela Dekite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ordered Lord Nityananda to stay in Bengal, but nevertheless, because of ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda also went to see him. Anuragar Lakan E Bidina Himane Tara Agya Bhangetara Sangera Karane. Indeed, it is a symptom of real affection that one breaks the order of the Lord, not caring for the regulative principles to associate with him. Rase Jaiche Gara Jaite Gopire Agya-lila Tara Agya Bhangitara Sange Se Rohila. During the rasa dance, Krishna asked all the gopis to return home, but they neglected his order and stayed there for his association. Agya Palane Krishna Jaishe Paritosh Preme Agya Bhangile Hoy Koti Sukha Posh. If one carries out Krishna's order, Krishna is certainly pleased. But if one sometimes breaks his order due to ecstatic love, that gives him millions of times greater happiness. Vasudeva Datta Murari Gupta Gangadas Shriman Sena Shriman Pandit Akinchana Krishnadas Murari Garuda Pandita Burimantakan Sanjaya Purushottama Pandita Bhagavan Shuklambar Nrsingananda Arajatajan Sabai Chalilanam Na Jhalikan. Vasudeva Datta, Murari Gupta, Gangadas, Shriman Sen, Shriman Pandit, Akinchana Krishnadas, Vasudeva Datta, Murari Gupta, Gangadas, Shriman Sen, Shriman Pandit, Akinchana Krishnadas, Murari Gupta, Garuda Pandit, Buddhimanta Khan, Sanjaya Purushottama, Bhagavan Pandit, Shuklambar Brahmachari, Nrsingananda Brahmachari, and many others joined together to go to Jagannath Puri. It would be impossible to mention the names of them all. Kulina Grami Kanda Basi Milila Asya Shivananda Sen Shalila Sabare Loya. The inhabitants of Kulinagram and Kanda also came and joined. Shivananda Sen took the leadership and thus started taking care of them all. Raghava Pandit Jhali San Sajaya Damayanti Jata Dravya Diache Korea. Raghava Pandit came with bags full of food prepared very nicely by his sister Damayanti. Nana Purva Bhakya Dravya Prabhuraj Jogya Bhog Vatsareka Prabhu Jaha Korana Upajog. Damayanti made varieties of unparalleled food just suitable for Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eat. The Lord ate it continuously. The Lord ate it continually for 1 year. Amra Kashandi Ada Kashandi Jala Kashandinam Nembu Ada Amrakoli Bibida Bidan Amshi Amakanda Thailamra Amashat Amshi Amakanda Thailamra Amashata Jatna Kori Gunda Kori Purana Shukuta. These are the names of some of the pickles and condiments in the bags of Raghava Pandit. Amrakashandi, Arakashandi, Jalakashandi, Nebu Ada, Amrakoli, Amshi, Amakanda, Tailamra, and Amasata. With great attention, Damayanti also made dried bitter vegetables into a powder. Shukuta Boli Avagya na Korea Chite Sukutaya Jesuka Prabhura Taha Nahi Panchamrite. Do not neglect Sukuta because it is a bitter preparation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu derived more happiness from eating this Sukuta than from drinking Panchamrita, preparation of milk, sugar, ghee, honey, and yogurt. Bhavagrahe Mahaprabhu Sneha Matraloy Sukuta Pata Kashandite Mahasukapai. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he extracts the purpose from everything. He accepted Damayanti's affection for him, and therefore he derived great pleasure even from the dried bitter leaves of Shukuta and from Kashandi, a sour condiment. Manusha Buddhi Damayanti Kore Prabhurpai Guru Bojane Udare Kabu Ama Hoyajai. Because of her natural love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Damayanti considered the Lord an ordinary human being. Therefore she thought that he would become sick by overeating and there would be mucus within his abdomen. Sukuta kaile se ama hoibeka nash, e sneho mane bhavi prabhura ulas. Because of sincere affection, she thought that eating this sukuta would cure the Lord's disease. Considering these affectionate thoughts of Damayanti, the Lord was very pleased. Priyena samgratya vipakas sanidav upahitam vakshasi pivarastani shrajam na kachit vijaho jala vilam vasanti e premni guna na vastuni. A dear lover strung a garland and placed it on the shoulder of a dear lover strung a garland and placed it on the shoulder of his beloved in the presence of her co-wives. Okay, a dear lover strung a garland and placed it on the shoulder of her beloved in the presence of her co-wives. She had raised... A dear lover strung a garland and placed it on the shoulder of his beloved in the presence of her co-wives. She had raised breast and was very beautiful. Yet although the garland was tainted with mud, she did not reject it, for its value lay not in material things, but in love. Daniya moharir tandula goda korea naru bandiyache chini paka korea. So I'll read this again. A dear lover strung a garland and placed it on the shoulder of his beloved in the presence of her co-wives. She had raised breast and was very beautiful, yet although the garland was tainted with mud, she did not reject it, for its value lay not in material things, but in love. Daniya moharir tandula gunda korea naru bandiyache chini paka korea. Damayanti powdered coriander and anise seeds, cooked them with sugar, and made them into sweetmeats in the shape of small balls. Sundikanda naruar amapita hara pritak pritak bandi bastrer kutali bitara. She made sweetmeat balls with dried ginger to remove mucus caused by too much bile. She put all these preparations separately into small cloth bags. Koli shunti, koli churna, koli kanda ar, katanama loiba shata prakara achar. She made 100 varieties of condiments and pickles. She also made koli sunti, koli churna, koli kanda, and many other preparations. How many should I name? Narikela kanda, nadu, aranadu ganjajal, chirastai kanda, bikar, korilash, shakal. She made many sweetmeats in the shape of balls. Some were made with powdered coconut, and others looked as white as the water of the Ganges. In this way she made many varieties of long-lasting sugar confections. Chirastai, kirasar, mandari, bikar, amrita, karpura, adi, aneka prakar. She made long-lasting cheese, many varieties of sweetmeats with milk and cream, many other varied preparations such as amrita karpura. Shalika chuti danyara atapa chirakori nutana bastrera bora kutali sababori. She made flat rice from fine unboiled jhali paddy and filled a large bag of new cloth. Kateka chira hundum kori gritete bhajia chini pake naru koila karpuraridiya. She made some of the flat rice into puff rice, fried it in ghee, cooked it in sugar juice, mixed in some camphor, and rolled it into balls. Shalidanyera tandula bhaja churna koriya grita shikta churna koila chini pakadiya karpura maricha lavanga ilachi rasabas churna diya naru koila paramas subas. She powdered fried grains of fine rice, moistened the powder with ghee, and cooked it into a solution of sugar. Then she added camphor, black pepper, cloves, cardamom, and other spices, and rolled the mixtures into balls that were very palatable and aromatic. Shalidanyana koi puna gritete bhajia chinipak Uda koila karpuraridiya. She took parched rice from fine paddy, fried it in ghee, cooked it in a sugar solution, mixed in some camphor, and thus made a preparation called ugda or murki. So there's so many preparations here, and they have Bengali names, and we don't know what those preparations are, and it's too complicated for Srila Prabhupada to have translated every one of these preparations. But we can just say this is made by Damayanti, and they were put into. She filled a big bag with everything separated, and she sent all these preparations. Some of them sweet, some of them sour, some of them. Yeah, they last for a long time, and Mahaprabhu would eat them with his meals during the whole year. So, Raghava jhali, and she would send it with her brother Raghava. So they don't. We're not. There's no translation given, and somebody could say, well, they're all. I don't know what they are, but there's some description. But you can just understand that there are many different things, kind of pickles and sweets and everything that's just made to last for some time that Mahaprabhu will take with his meal. She took parched rice from paddy, fried it in ghee, cooked it in a sugar solution, mixed in some camphor, and thus made a preparation called ugda or mudki. Now, I remember that Srila Sridhar Maharaj's sister, Ramadevi, she used to make a preparation called Gokulpita, which was made with coconut and, it was so delicious. It was a sweet. So there's many things we don't know about, but they taste very good. Food kalai chornakori grite banchala chini pake karpurare dia nadu koila. Another variety of sweet was made with fused peas that were powdered, fried in ghee, and then cooked in sugar juice. Camphor was added, and then the mixture was rolled into balls. Kahitena janinama ejanme jahar aiche nana bhakya drabya sahasra prakar. I could not mention the names of all these wonderful eatables even in a lifetime. Damayanti made hundreds and thousands of varieties. Raghavera agya ara korana Damayanti duhara prabhute sneham parama bhakati. Damayanti made all these preparations following the order of her brother Raghava Pandit. Both of them had unlimited affection for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and were advanced in devotional service. Gangam ritika ane bastrete chaniya Panpadi koriyadila ganda dravyadiya. Damayanti took earth from the Ganges, dried it, powdered it, strained it through a fine cloth, mixed in aromatic ingredients, and rolled it into small balls. Patala mrit patre sanandanadibari. Patala mrit patre sandanadibari. Ara sab bastuba bore. Bastrera kutuhali. The condiments and similar items were put into thin earthen pots, and everything else was put into small cloth bags. Samanya jhali hoite, dviguna jhali koila, paripati kori sab jhali baraila. From small bags, Damayanti made bags that were twice as large. Then with great attention she filled all the large ones with the small ones. Jhali bandi mahardila agraha koria, tina bojari jhali bahe krama koria. She then wrapped and sealed each and every bag with great attention. The bags were carried by 3 bearers, one after another. So Sankepi kohilun e jalera bichar raghavera jali boli vikyati jahar. Thus I have briefly described the bags that have become famous as raghavera jali. So these bags are very famous, raghavera jali, and Damayanti makes them and puts them into bags, and then in bigger bags, and then 3 people carry them to Mahaprabhu. Jalera upara Munsiva Makaradvajakar Pranarupe Jale Rake Hoya Tatpar. The superintendent for all those bags was Makaradvajkara, who kept them with great attention like his very life. Emate Vaishnava Sab Nilachali Aila Daive Jagannath Se Dina Antya-lila. Thus all the Vaishnavas from Bengal went to Jagannath Puri. By chance they arrived on the day when Lord Jagannath performs pastimes in the water. Narendra-sarovara jhali Govinda no kate chariya jala krida kori sa bhakta gana loya. Boarding a boat in the water of Narendra-sarovara, Lord Govinda performed his water pastimes with all the devotees. So the deities of Lord Jagannath are very big, but there's also a smaller deity called Govinda, who's a deity who they take on when they're having this water festivals and other things, and they take that deity of Govinda. He's Vijay Vigraha for Lord Jagannath. Boarding a boat in the water of Narendra-sarovara, Lord Govinda performed his water pastimes with all the devotees. Se kale Mahaprabhu Bhaktagana Sange Narendra-sarovara dekite jala keli range. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived with his personal associates to see the jubilant pastimes of Lord Jagannath in Narendra-sarovara. There's also a deity of Mahaprabhu that stays in Srila Sridhar Samadhi, and that deity is taken when they have pastimes for the deities in the water of Govinda Kund, then they take that deity. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived with his personal associates to see the jubilant pastimes of Lord Jagannath in Narendra-sarovara. Sekali Mahaprabhu Bhaktagan Sange Narendra-sarovara dekite Chalakeli Range. So those pastimes are done with the deity of Govinda. Sekali Aila Sab Gurara Bhaktagan Narendra Te Prabhu Sange Hoila Milan. At the same time, all the devotees from Bengal arrived at the lake and had a great meeting with the Lord. Bhaktagan Padiyashe Prabhu Racharane, Utaya Prabhu Sabare Koila Alingane. All the devotees immediately fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord lifted and embraced every one of them. Gaudiya Sampradaya Sabkorana Kutana Prabhura Milane Ute Primara Krandana. The Gaudiya Sampradaya, consisting of all the devotees from Bengal, began congregational chanting. They began kirtan. When they met the Lord, they began to cry loudly in ecstatic love. Jalakrida Bhajya Gita Nartana Kirtan Maha Kolahala Tire Shalile Kelana. Because of the pastimes in the water, there was great jubilation on the shore with music, singing, chanting, and dancing, creating a tumultuous sound. Gaudiya Sankirtanayana Rodana Milya Mahakola Hala Hoila Brahmanda Bariya. Indeed, the chanting and crying of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas mixed and created a tumultuous sound vibration that filled the entire universe. Sabbakta Loya Prabhu Namilena Jale Sabloya Jala Krida Korana Kutuhale. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the water with his devotees and began his pastimes with them in great jubilation. Prabhure Jala Krida Dasha Brindavan Chaitanya Mangale Vistari Korijachin Varnan. In his Chaitanya Mangala, also now known as Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur has given a detailed description of the activities the Lord performed in the water. Puna ihan barnile puna rukta hoy vyarta likan hoy aragranta badai. There is no use in again describing here the activities of the Lord. It would simply be repetitious and would increase the size of this book. Jala-lila kori Govinda chalila aloi nijagana loya Prabhu gela deva loy. After concluding his pastimes in the water, Lord Govinda returned to his residence. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the temple, taking all his devotees with him. The deity referred to herein as Govinda is the Vijay Vigraha in the temple of Jagannath. When there is a need to take Jagannath somewhere, the Vijay Vigraha is taken because the body of Jagannath is very heavy. The Vijay Vigraha in the Jagannath temple is known as Govinda. For the pastimes in Narendra-sarovara, the Vijay Vigraha was carried there instead of Lord Jagannath. Jagannath Deki Puna Nijagari Aila Prasad Anana Bhakta Gane Kawajaila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence after visiting the temple of Jagannath, he asked for a large quantity of Lord Jagannath's prashadam, which he then distributed among his devotees so that they could eat sumptuously. Ishtagoshti sabloya katakana koila nija nija purva vashai sabai pantaila. After talking with all the devotees for some time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to occupy the individual residences in which they had lived the previous year. Govinda Tai Raghava Jali Samarpila Bhojana Grihera Kone Jali Govinda Rakila. Raghava Pandit delivered the bags of eatables to Govinda, who kept them in a corner of the dining room. Purva Vatsarer Jali Jara Korea Dravya Baribare Rake Anya Grihe Loya. Govinda thoroughly emptied the bags from the previous year and kept them in another room to fill them with other goods. So Govinda used the empty bags from the previous years to put other things in. Aradin Mahaprabhu Nijaganaloya Jagannath Dekilena Shayotane Jana. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went with his personal devotees to see Lord Jagannath when Lord Jagannath arose early in the morning. Veda Sankirtana Tahan Aramba Korila Shata Sampradaya Tabe Gaite Lagila. After seeing Lord Jagannath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began his all-encompassing Sankirtan. He formed 7 groups which then began to chant. Shata Sampradaya Nritya Kore Shatajan Advaita Charya Ara Prabhu Nityananda. In each of the 7 groups was a principal dancer, such as Advaita Charya or Lord Nityananda. Bakeshwara Acharyananda, Bakeshwara Achutananda Pandita Srivas, Satyaraj Khan Ara Naraharidas. The dancers in the other groups were Bakeshwara Pandit, Achutananda, Pandit Srivas, Satyaraj Khan, and Naraharidas. Shata Sampradaya Prabhu Koranav Brahman, Mora Sampradaya Prabhu Aiche Sabarman. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked from one group to another, inspecting them, the men in each group thought, the Lord is within our group. Sankirtana Kolahole, Akasha Bedila, Sab Jagannatha Base Dekite Aila. The congregational chanting made a tumultuous roar that filled the sky. All the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri came to see the kirtan. Nija se duri deke nijagana loya Rajapatni Saba deke atali chariya. Accompanied by his personal staff, the king also came there and watched from a distance, and all the queens watched from the elevated parts of the palace. Kirtanat atope prative kore talamao haridwane kore lok hoila kolahao. Due to the forceful vibration of kirtan, the entire world began trembling. When everyone chanted the holy name, they made a tumultuous sound. Emata katakan koraila kirtan apane nachite tabe prabhur hoilaman. In this way, the Lord had congregational chanting performed for some time, and then he himself desired to dance. Shatadike shata sampradaya gaya bajai madhye maha prema veshe nache gorarai. The 7 groups began chanting and beating their drums in 7 directions, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began dancing in the center in great ecstatic love. Udiyapas Mahaprabhu Mane Smriti Hoila Swarupere Se Para Gaite Agyadila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered a line in the Risan language and ordered Swarup Damodar to sing it. Jagamohan Pari Mundajo. Let my head fall at the feet of Jagannath in the kirtan hall known as Jagamohan. Epade nritya koren parama aveshe sablok chodike prabhur prema jhali base. Simply because of this line, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in great ecstatic love. People all around him floated in the water of his tears. Bobo bolen Prabhu Shri Bahu Tulia Haridwani Kore Log Anande Basiya. Raising his 2 arms, the Lord said, bowl, bowl, chant, chant. Floating in transcendental bliss, the people responded by chanting the holy name of Hari. Prabhupada Murchajai Shwasa Nahiyar Achambite Ute Prabhu Korea Hunkar. The Lord fell to the ground unconscious, not even breathing, Then suddenly he stood up, making a loud sound. He stood up roaring. Sagana pulaka jena simulera taru kabu prafulita anga kabu hoy saru. The hairs on his body constantly stood up like the thorns on a shimula tree. Sometimes his body was swollen and sometimes lean and thin. Prati Roma kupe hoy prasveda raktogam Jagannath Puri mumu gadgada bachan. He bled and perspired from every pore of his body. His voice faltered. Unable to say the line properly, he uttered only Jagannath Puri mumu. So the line is Jagamohan Pari Mundajo. But Mahaprabhu is in ecstasy, and instead of saying Jagamohan Pari Mundojo, he's saying Jagagaga Pari Mumu. Ek danta jena pritak nare aiche nare danta jena bhume kashi pare. All his teeth shook, as if each was separate from the others. Indeed, they seemed about to fall to the ground. Kane kane bore prabhur ananda vesh tritiya prahara hoila nritya nahi sesh. His transcendental bliss increased at every moment. Therefore, even by mid-afternoon, the dancing had not ended. Sablokera Antya-lila ananda sagar sablok pasarila deho atmagar. The ocean of transcendental bliss overflowed, and everyone present forgot his body, mind, and home. Tabe Nityananda Prabhu Shri Jila Upai Krame Kirtaniya Rakila Sabai. Then Lord Nityananda found a way to end the kirtan. He gradually stopped all the chanters. Swarupera Sanghe Matra Ek Sampradai Swarupera Sanghe Seho Manda Swaragai Swarupera Sanghe Matra Eka Sampradaya Swarupera Sanghe Seho Manda Swaragai. Thus only one group continued chanting with Swarup Damodar, and they chanted very softly. Kola hola nahi prabhur kichubaya hoila tabe nityananda sabar shrama janaila. When there was no longer a tumultuous sound, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to external consciousness. Then Nityananda Prabhu informed him of the fatigue of the chanters and dancers. Bhakta Shama Jani Koila Kirtana Samapan Sabloya Ashe Koila Samudre Snapan. Understanding the fatigue of the devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped the congregational chanting. Then he bathed in the sea, accompanied by them all. Sabloya Prabhu Koila Prasada Bhojan Sabare Vidaya Dila Korite Shayan. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took prashadam with all of them and then asked them to return to their dwellings and take rest. Gambhir Dware Koren Apane Shayan Govinda Siya Kore Parasambahan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lay down at the door of the gambhir, and Govinda came there to massage his legs. Sarvakola Ache E Sudrida Niyam Prabhu Jari Prasad Paya Korana Shayan Govinda Siya Kore Parasambahan Tabe Jai Prabhorasesh Korana Bojan. It was a steady, long-standing rule that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would lie down to rest after lunch, and Govinda would come to massage his legs. Then Govinda would honor the remnants of food left by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sabdwara Judi Prabhu Kori Janchan Shayan Bitare Jaitenare Govinda Korin Nivedan. This time when the Lord lay down, he occupied the entire doorway. Govinda could not enter the room, and therefore he made the following request. Ek pashu hao more deho bitar jaite Prabhu kohe shakti nahi anga chalaite. Govinda said, kindly turn on one side, let me pass to enter the room. However, the Lord replied, I don't have the strength to move my body. Bar bar Govinda kohe ek dik hoite Prabhu kohe angami nari chalaite. Govinda made the request again and again, but the Lord replied, I cannot move my body. Govinda kohe korite chahi para sambahan Prabhu kohe kora ba na kora jay hoitomaraman. Govinda repeatedly requested, I want to massage your legs, but the Lord said, do it or don't do it. It depends upon your mind. Tabe Govinda bahirva stara upare diya bitara gare gela Mahaprabhu re langia. Then Govinda spread the Lord's dhoti over his body, and in this way entered the room by crossing over the Lord. Pada sambahan koila koti prishta chapila madhura mardane prabhur parishrama gela. Govinda massaged the Lord's legs as usual. He pressed the Lord's waist and back very softly, and thus all the Lord's fatigue went away. Suke nidra hoila prabhura Govinda chape anga danda dui by prabhura hoila nidra banga. As Govinda stroked his body, the Lord slept very nicely for about 45 minutes, and then his sleep broke. Govinde dekiye Prabhu mole krudahoya achikene ekana achis vasya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Govinda sitting by his side, he was somewhat angry. Why have you been sitting here for so long today? The Lord asked. Mora nidra hoile kene nagela prashad kaite Govinda kohe dware shuka jaitena he pate. Why didn't you go to take your meal after I fell asleep? The Lord asked. Govinda replied, you were lying down, blocking the door, and there was no way to go out. Prabhu kohe bitare tabe aila kemone taiche kene prashad loite na koila gamane. The Lord asked, how did you enter the room? Why didn't you go out to take your lunch in the same way? Govinda kahe mane amara seva se niyama aparad hao kiba narake gamana. Govinda mentally replied, my duty is to serve, even if I have to commit offenses or go to hell. Sevalage koti aparad nahi gani swanimita aparad bashe bayamani. I would not mind committing hundreds of thousands of offenses for the service of the Lord, but I greatly fear committing even a glimpse of an offense for my own self. Etasab mane kori Govinda rahila Prabhu jay puchila tara Uttaranadila. Thinking in this way, Govinda kept silent. He did not reply to the Lord's inquiry. Pratyaha Prabhur nidrayad jana prasad loite se diva sera shramak deki lagila chapite. It was Govinda's practice to go take lunch when the Lord was asleep. On that day, however, seeing the Lord's weariness, Govinda continued massaging his body. Jateha patanahi jaibe kemone maha aparad hoy prabhura langane. There was no way to go. How could he leave? When he thought of crossing over the Lord's body, he considered it a great offense. Esab hoy bhakti sharira shukshma marima chaitanya kripa jane esab dharma. These are some of the finer points of etiquette in devotional service. Only one who has received the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand these principles. Bhakta guna prakashite prabhu morarangi esa prakashite koila etabangi. The Lord is very interested in manifesting the exalted qualities of his devotees, and that is why he engineered this incident. Sankepi kahilone parimunda nritya adyapiya gayan jaha chaitanya rabritya. Thus I have briefly described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing in the hall of the Jagamohan temple. The servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sing about this dancing even now. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunam Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunam Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunam Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunam Hey Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Hey Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jahoite Vignana Shabista Puran Jahoite Vignana Shabista Puran Hey Jai Gosai Jarmui Karadas Hey Jai Gosai Jarmui Karadas Tasavar Para Renu Mora Panchagras Tasavar Para Renu Mora Panchagras Kader Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanibas Kader Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanibas Janame More E Abilas Janame More E Abilas E Chai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas E Chai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Antya-lila Korila Prakash Radha Krishna Antya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bacha Vrindavan Anande Bolo Hari Bacha Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Nariya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmamachari Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakachari Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakachari Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Ragana, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Ragana, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premsigo, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Vishvavaranya Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Kushamashram Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Bimal Avadut Maharaj Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Shri Mayapur Ki Jai, Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Shri Koladvip Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Sokel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan, Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai, Shri Purushottam Madam Ki Jai, Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo Ki Jai, Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya, Srina Sringadev Ki Jai, Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.